Oh, it works. Okay. God, my cleavage is really... Sorry, guys and gals. I just took the opportunity to lay out because it's been... It feels like weeks of nonstop rain. It feels like I am back living in Seattle a little bit. It's kind of weird. I'm still in SoCal. This is my cooking situation. We're cooking with the captain today. So I use this portable propane camp stove, and you just screw these 1 pound propane bottle on. It's actually made for butane, but I prefer to use propane instead. Not for really any particular reason. It's easier for me to get the propane bottles. They always sell out of the butane ones. Dora's over on the bed just passed out in exasperation. Just like, oh, I've had it with you. You can see I'm still super white. Like I said, this is the first time I've laid out tanning in forever. Actually, last time I laid out was probably September of last year. I got really, really white. I usually hold a pretty good glow, but alas. Anyways, we're making eggs today. So let me give you an update, because the last time we chatted, I was telling you about my mystery not feeling well, illness, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Got some of the test results back, and largely pointing to mercury poisoning. So I haven't had a chance to meet with my doctor yet to kind of go over our plan of attack for detoxing from mercury. And we ordered some more follow-up tests related to that, like hair testing and whatnot. But in the meantime, I did some reading about, all right, well, what foods are good natural chelators for mercury? Surprise, none of them are carnivore foods. So I had a couple meals with cauliflower and garlic, which are supposed to be some of the better chelators. I don't miss eating a mixed diet in any respects. It was okay. Didn't really excite me. It's been 4 years, really, since I've eaten much for carbs. How do you guys deal with having gas in any capacity? It's been 4 years without any gas. And yeah, why would you do that to yourself? I'm very happily still carnivore. I'm cooking the eggs because obviously we're having an egg shortage right now. And I would feel like a really big asshole if I waste any of the egg. Raw egg whites are not great for protein absorption. They are also histamine liberators, and I already am having issues with histamines, so I don't want to add to that. So that's what we're doing, and nothing fancy. I literally just throw these in a pan, swish them around, call it good, and eat. Hold on, let me find a plate. Oh, come here. I'm working on some reorganization, so I ordered some different little, I guess they're kind of like drawers. So I'm going to put some up here underneath my cabinets, and then I really want one underneath my sink to optimize some of the space down there. And now that I'm down to 1 dog instead of 2, I don't need as big of a dog food container. So I'm going to be downsizing that as well. That'll help improve a lot of the space down below. I just use, this is just a copper pan because it works pretty good for copper pans to be non-stick, as long as you don't violate the golden rule, which is you don't use metal utensils in your non-stick ware. So this thing is restricted only for egg use with a spatula. I watched the most ridiculous thing on television the other day. I don't own a television, first of all. I haven't owned a television since I was 20, aside from the brief stint of marriage where I was married to a man who could not survive without a television in every room. But even then, I didn't watch cable anything. You know, if I watched something, it was Netflix, or it was very specific. But when I'm at the gym, they have televisions all over, and they're all just cable programming. And I saw a news thing talking about activists and school boards want to get rid of honor classes. And the reasoning is because equality. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, they want everybody to be equally stupid. I think I'm getting that right. God, what a time to be alive. I feel really, really bad for anybody who is young and growing up, going through any kind of school systems with the current bullshit that exists. The few times I do catch TV programs, I just constantly think, oh, we're actually living the movie Idiocracy. People are too stupid to realize that that's what this is. I'm of the opinion that not all people are equal, and that's okay. Like, we shouldn't all be the same. If everybody should be the same skill and education and intelligence, what a boring existence. Why would you even bother getting to know anybody at that point? Like, oh, everybody's just like me. I have nothing to learn from interacting with them or developing a friendship or a relationship. I can't be challenged by them because we're all equally on the same level. No. That's not how it should be, in my opinion. Eggs. So I found this kind of cool hack. It only lasted for a really short time, though, until they sold out. But at Sprouts, they were selling, you'll see I've got these little nugget-sized packages. So this was intentional. The reason is because a dozen eggs they were selling for $8. Half a dozen they were selling for $2. So I bought a whole bunch of half dozen containers and ended up paying $4 a dozen instead of $8. I don't know who messed up at the grocery store and marked them like that, but yeah, I took advantage. I filled my fridge up with a good amount of them. So thanks, whoever's working the grocery store. They're all sold out now. I was in there day before yesterday, and they don't have any half dozen ones left. They actually removed this section where they were and put other products there. So I don't know if they're planning on restocking it anytime soon. But yeah, so mostly this update, I wanted to just talk about that equal rights. Everybody should be equal. No honors. Nobody can be so smart in school that they make the stupid kids feel bad about themselves. I am of the opinion that if somebody wants to be offended by something, they will find a way to be offended. no matter what is going on. And then we'll make up whatever excuse needed in order to push that idea that I'm not responsible for my own feelings. Everybody else is responsible for making me feel a certain way. Like, no, that is a childish mindset. And hopefully as we become adults, we learn that nobody is responsible for how we feel. We are responsible for our own feelings. Even if somebody does something really fucking shitty on purpose, still our responsibility for how we feel about it. I've seen a lot of seems like I don't know if it's just the filtering on my devices, because everything's an algorithm now. But I see a lot of videos coming through talking about, men who were scorned by a woman, and then they go on to, prove what an asshole that bitch was by, becoming a millionaire or a billionaire and having all these fancy cars and having all these other women, begging to be with them. And every time I see a video like that, I think, the woman that scorned you is still in control of your life. Like, you're not controlling the outcome of your life. You're doing all of these things. You're not doing them just for yourself. Like, okay, I had this really shitty experience with somebody. I'd really like to focus on me and, go on and better my life and this and that and whatever. Like, if you are angrily talking about somebody who hurt you when you were like 17 or 18, and that's what made you into this and that to prove to them, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. And if what you're hoping out of that is like, oh yeah, I'm going to become this crazy, desirable person that everybody wants to be with, healthy, stable women don't want to be with a person like that. Because they can see that that's not healthy. And I say that from a position of having done that in my life before. And then having grown up and realized, oh, that's not actually healthy. Seems like a really normalizing mindset that's being presented is, oh, I was hurt, I was traumatized, I was damaged. And then instead of actually figuring out how to get over that and heal in a healthy way, you use that as the fuel for doing all these things. They're all really like coping mechanisms. Like, I can go to the gym for 6 to 8 hours a day and torture myself and become an elite athlete and, become the best of the best of the best. But just because I can go out and do all these crazy things doesn't mean that that's a healthy endeavor in my life to do. I don't know. Like, if you're pushing yourself so hard that you don't have good sleep, that you're constantly injuring yourself in the process, that you're prioritizing that over actual, real, close, healthy relationships with other human beings, are you really happy? Are you really getting what you want? I'm doubtful. I'm not a big fan of Goggins for that reason. Absolutely. He has changed his entire life and accomplished a whole bunch of things that society will say, oh, this is a sign of a successful human being. But I don't think it's normal for a healthy, happy individual to wake up one day and be like, I'm going to run 100 or 200 miles nonstop, just on a lark, and in the process probably break some bones, stress fractures, pull muscles. The other thing, when I watch him talk, and I like this, but I also despise this habit in myself. I have a oddly tuned skill in reading body language, and when I watch him talk, I can see the fear. He holds it in the way that he uses the muscles of his lips and around his lips. You can see the fear when he talks. But most people don't pick up on that. They only hear the tone, the inflection, the confidence in which he talks. But there's something else underneath that. And again, not a personal dig at the man. Like, I'm never going to go out and run a 100-miler. I'm just not. I don't hate myself enough. Now, 3-4 years ago, I fantasized about doing 100-milers and about, there's this other ultra marathon out in the Appalachians, which is pretty fucking brutal. And I would spend 6 to 8 hours a day in the gym. I would go in, if I wasn't there in one big long clip, I'd go in twice, 3 times a day sometimes, because I hated myself. I wasn't happy. I'm really good at pretending, though. So, anyways, that's my little rant. I can't wait for the full summertime to be back. Take you guys on more adventures outside of my little cave. But really, I kind of like videos like this because, and this is the reality, I spend a lot of time in my house. I'm not always sitting on the beach or laying out, exploring, hiking, blah, blah, blah. I live a normal life. I just happen to live in an ambulance. So when I'm done with this, I'm actually going to curl up with my laptop and work on some technical documentation, since that is my regular work. I work for a software company. I also do website development. So I have a couple things that I want to make sure are on track before going into next week. And yeah, the company I work for is really awesome. Just as long as I make sure things are on track, there's a lot of flexibility in it. And then we might go for another 2 or 3 mile walk tonight. But other than that, it's just a pretty basic life. I don't know. It's not crazy romantic like some people make it out to be. It's not like all the other van life Instagram feeds. Sorry. Maybe I'll try to make it more exciting this year. We'll see. All right. See you guys later.